Am I live? Oh, okay. I think I'm live. Hello, everybody. We just had it was actually a pretty good fight, with Oscar Valdez and Conceicao. I see so. I want to know what you guys thought about the performance. I think it was a pretty good fight. Wait, what are you talking about? Please, please go further into what that means. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, let's talk about the fight itself because the fight itself was actually a pretty good fight. It wasn't a horrible fight. There was no boring fight. We know Oscar Valdez, he does have a fan friendly style. So we knew that it was going to be a pretty decent fight just because Oscar Valdez, he se presta para hacer peleas buenas, right? So I just want to know what you guys think on the decision. I think I want to hear what you guys have to say first, and then that way I can maybe give some stuff. On my end, it was a pretty good fight though, especially the later rounds. There's a lot of stuff there in those fights that I didn't really like. Especially with the rabbit punching. We did see Conceicao get a point deducted immediately after tapping Valdez in the back of the head. Okay, so the punches are being on the screen right now. Sorry. Uh Conceicao landed through 576 and 390 from Valdez, but only landed 83 from Valdez and 141 from Conceicao. So 21% to 24% of total punches landed. 21 from Valdez, 24 from Conceicao. Um, Ricky says Robson's style is terrible to watch, but he won the fight easily. Valdez was getting picked off all night and couldn't really get any momentum going. Texas Elite says, I'm sorry, but I can't give Valdez credit for this fight. I love Valdez, but he my most charitable interpretation. I thought that 117-111 scorecard was pretty fucking ridiculous. Like when I heard 117-111, I was just like, what the fuck are the judges talking about? Like I know it was one judge, the other judges had it 115-113, which tells me that if they wouldn't have gotten that point deducted, if Conceicao would have not gotten that point deducted, that would have been a majority draw, right? Because they all had to take a point off for Conceicao, right? They took a point off, right? So it should have been, and I agree, he was not going to win on the scorecards, but I wasn't expecting him to knock out Valdez. Valdez has a pretty decent chin, even though he's been down before, and Conceicao doesn't have that type of power to be putting Valdez down. And I do agree he gassed out. Let me get a pillow because I'm short. I'm going to put a pillow on my seat. Much better. So I do actually agree with you, Texas Elite. He did definitely gas out. When we saw him in the first, 3 rounds, we were like, oh damn, like Conceicao might just school Valdez and make it an easy night for himself by just completely outboxing Valdez, because he was outboxing him the whole fight, but more dominantly in the first 4 rounds. So it was really it was a game changer when after the six we saw Valdez kind of picking it up, and Valdez was landing that right hand a little bit more, and Conceicao kind of focused more on just landing, just 1-2s or a single punch. He didn't really throw combinations in there. So yes, I agree, Alex. 117-110 was a joke. Yeah, it was 117-110. And yes, the showboating was a little annoying. I got annoyed of the showboating at the end when he was like having his arms up, and I'm like, bro, throw a punch, because if you think you're up on the scorecards, you're about to find out, and find out he did, right? I think what bothered me the most though is that I was mentioning that he actually got a point deducted immediately after he tapped Valdez 3 times in the back of the head, and as I tweeted it, I don't condone rabbit punches, especially after everything we've seen in boxing. There's no room in the sport for rabbit punches. But that was literally like he tapped him 3 times right here. I think the ref took point out because it was intentional. Because as he was trying to break him apart, he tapped him 3 times in the back of the head. But they were taps. And he took a point off immediately. But with Valdez, he gave Valdez at least 3 warnings that I heard, right? I heard about 3 warnings that they gave Valdez. And I thought that that was fucked up, honestly. That the difference, and I feel like that's what makes people have those feelings towards certain fighters and feel like some there is favoritism because you see shit like this. You see Valdez getting 3 warnings and no point deduction for the same stuff that Conceicao got a fucking point deducted off of. So if that point hadn't been deducted, then this would have been a majority draw, right? Because it was 115, 113, and the other two that would have made it 114, 114, right? And that would have made it a draw. I need to see the scorecards. Because honestly, I'm just so confused. I'm hella. It made me confused as to why they weren't doing that. If that makes sense, why it was obvious with one fighter and not the other. But Oscar, he did good towards the end of the fight. And he was landing that right hand a lot more. So I think that he did well towards the end, trying to catch Conceicao. Well, Conceicao kind of stopped throwing, and I think he gassed. Alex Grimes says, when you think about it, even if he won the last round, so yeah. I mean, no, can you please stop? The fight definitely got closer towards the end of the rounds, but I don't know. I need to watch it again. But that 117 scorecard was kind of not that great. But, I think, I hope that Oscar does unify because if he struggled against Conceicao, then he's going to struggle against Shakur Stevenson if Shakur Stevenson beats Herring. And Herring also has kind of a particular style that I don't think would favor Valdez. So I'm really excited still to see that. Um, Valdez landed behind that back. Yeah, he got a lot of warnings, and I didn't um yeah, a lot of them weren't even warnings. He would just like ignore it. So I do feel you guys. I feel you. It pissed me off too. And it's just the shit in boxing that makes us be like, man, why do I even watch this? Why do I put myself through this? And I think the part that like really pissed me off too is that Valdez post fight said something, the interview, he said something like, oh, I've had a hard week. And it's like, bro, are you really like gaslighting people for being mad at you because you pop positive for banned substance? Because that's what he was doing. He was basically like, feel bad for me. I had such a hard week, and here this guy is talking shit to my face. Like, bro, like, are you really going there right now? Are you really going there right now? Trying to make us, feel bad for you after you. I just don't get why he would take that route to say these things. I don't. I really don't get that part. I really don't get what his angle was coming up here and being like, hey, feel bad for me, guys. I had such a hard week. Like, dang. He tapped Valdez in the head like 2 different times, and the second was annoying. Yeah, I saw when he petted him on the top of the head, like while the ref was trying to break him up before he got a point deducted. He kind of like did this on Valdez's top of the head. So I feel like he was doing the most, but he was also beating Oscar in the first half of the fight. I still think he did enough in the second half of the fight to win, but he's not going to be doing it. He's not going to win against Oscar in Arizona, right? Yeah, Eric, you were right there. Everybody follow Liga Combate, especially if you like MMA and UFC and all the mixed martial arts. Liga Combate has the best content on MMA. So if you guys are tired of boxing and the bullshit like that we saw tonight, and you guys want to make the switch to UFC, definitely go to Liga Combate. He is just on top of it with the content. And I agree. You love you. I knew the scoring wasn't gonna be it, but I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. The refs released the yes. Eric actually sent me the the scorecard. So let me pull that up. Maybe I can pull it up because I know Eric from Liga Combate actually sent me the thing. Valle Imperial. Where is it? But yes, one of the judges gave. Oh, one of the judges gave Valdez all rounds past the six, which is a little. It's a little like, come on, bro. But Oscar, I'm gonna have to screenshot this. This made me laugh, so I'm gonna have to screenshot this. This is this is pretty funny. Um, if you shit, people are tired of boxing. So how did you see Ward giving Valdez the W with Ward? Said he wants Valdez losing. Well, I think they were all just angry about the pop positive for PD's thing. I think that's what was going on. But at the same time, I don't think they were necessarily rooting against them. Like I think if you look at the if you look at the how do I explain? If you look at the commentary all night, they were basically trying to just talk about Valdez all night. All night they were talking about Valdez, and I think towards the end specifically, they were not calling anything that Conceicao did. Conceicao did slow down though, at the end. Um, are we fighting in the comments? What are we fighting about? But I did think that it was, I Valdez should have started with the as with that right hand since the beginning, but Conceicao, I think he just needed to adjust to Conceicao. I agree that a lot of people are angry because of the scorecards, but I think we all knew that they were going to give the fight to Valdez if it was remotely close, and this was, after the end, it was kind of close towards the end, right? Because Valdez came back. That gave them, that with the point deduction. Then we knew that the scorecards were going to be not that close, but I didn't think they were going to be that fucking wide. Like the first one, the 117, 110, that shit was kind of ridiculous. And yes, Oscar got beat up. Even his pimples were popped. Like you could see like he had like all these little dots because his acne got popped by the punches. Like he had his freaking like I thought that was kind of funny, and I was like, dang, he was fucked up. But like Kriegel said at the end of the fight, you don't really prove that you won a fight by Luca's face is more fucked up than the other. Though we had not seen Valdez with this fucked up of a face since Quig minus the broken jaw, right? When he got the broken jaw, obviously that was the worst, but he hadn't gotten fucked up like that ever since, and he got pretty touched up this time. Um there's people. Let me see. Let me. Yeah, the commentators. People are saying that the commentators were a bit biased, and they are because it's top rank. So they are going to. They are going to. They are going to favor the house fighters, right? They're going to mention more what their house fighter is doing. They're going to want to root more for their guy, not for the other guy that's coming in and fighting their guy. And it's not just top rank, DAZN does it. DAZN does that with their fighters. PBC does it with their fighters when they're fighting somebody else. Then they only call the punches that their in-house fighter throws, right? I think, a lot of people could have had it a draw too, because again, Oscar did come back strong in the second half of the fight. But I think that Conceicao was still kind of outboxing him. I just think he got tired and he wasn't throwing enough punches, and that's what cost him the fight ultimately, right? And it would have been a majority draw. It would have been a majority draw if it wasn't for that point deduction, right? It would have been a majority draw. Um, some people call it a robbery. We have Mars Blackman here saying that it was a robbery. The one a la verga says, do y'all believe Oscar was innocent? I'll leave that to the chat. The chat, do you guys think that Oscar was innocent? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think on that, please. And then I'll give my 2 cents. I did like how Tim Bradley did call out Kriegel for basically defending Oscar Valdez, right? Because since the news popped Since the news came out that Valdez popped positive for a PED or a banned substance, we saw that Timothy Bradley was very outspoken. I wonder if he learned that shit from who? Eddie Atlas. He was very outspoken about how he felt about Valdez popping positive and how he felt that the fight shouldn't go on, regardless of whether it was accidental or not. Um, you know, Timothy Bradley said that having Canelo had popped positive before and seeing how Canelo went about it should have given him a kind of example to follow of how to go on about it, right? Because according to Tim Bradley, when they brought it up in the pre-fight conference meeting between them and the fighters, when they asked him like, well, why didn't you send a sample of whatever you were drinking, whatever tea, whatever supplement, why don't you send that over to the to VADA, and that way they can see it. You can do that, and they claim that they didn't know that they could do that, which to me it's low-key bullshit. Like, if I want to clear my name of some wrongdoing and I knew, I was like, I did this differently this fight, and this fight I was drinking Herbalife that my tia gave me off, she sold it to me on the Facebook marketplace, whatever. I was drinking this tea, or I did this differently, or this could have been, I'm going to send all of that shit to the VADA organization, right? I'm going to send them to see if that's what it is. And if I want to clear myself of wrongdoing, and that's what I would do. I would take every step, and I would even do a hair follicle test, because that's what Canelo did, right? That's what he did. So I feel like, how do you not have that guidance, and how do you know that these are possibilities of things that you can do when Canelo did it, right? And another thing that they said is that Eddie Reynoso actually told the media and told everybody he was not going to answer any questions, especially not about the positive test, right? Like, he straight up said, don't ask me shit about that. And I think that's not good. You shouldn't be telling people, the media, don't ask me about my fighter popping positive for something, especially when the other fighter of yours also tested positive for something. So I think it was kind of a messed up move for them to do that. And it only makes them seem more guilty. Like, if you really believe that you're innocent, please go on about it the right way. Do all the testing, send all the stuff, all your supplements, all your teas that you've been drinking, send them to see if that's what it is, right? And then if Canelo took a hair follicle test, and take it too. You have an example to follow. You have an example to follow on Canelo, and for Rudy Reynoso to tell the media, don't ask me anything about that. It's really annoying, and I didn't like that. Hi, Celtic Warrior. Valdez has a fight on his hand. Has a fight on his hand. What do you mean? What do you mean? Let's see. Yes, it's a hazy IPA. It's a hazy IPA. That's how I feel talking about. I never said anything about Imperial Valley. I have no idea where Imperial Valley even is. I have no idea. Where was the performance at? Valdez is trash in here to use. Well, the thing is that a lot of people are not counting that, because he was enrolled in VADA when he was going to fight Berchelt, and VADA found him to be clean during that time. But it's valid for people to question that performance, simply because they know that fighters know how to cycle properly, right? And what are the chances, especially with this specific substance that he got caught with? It's only in your system for 48 hours at most, from what I read on the pharmacology report. It's from 48 to 72 hours that it's in your body, and then it's flushed. So what are the odds that within those 48, 72 hours he got tested, right? That's really shitty luck. If you're taking a substance that gets out of your system that fast, and then you still get caught with it, it gives people the idea that you had been using it, you just got caught this time, and most of the time when people get caught, it's not their first time doing it, like, it's, I don't know how to explain it. But you guys let me know what you guys think, if you guys do give Valdez the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think the fight was close at all. I thought Valdez got shut out. He was getting beaten up less than second half, but he wasn't landing much of anything. I agree, and I think this is one of those fights where you can say that the crowd had some to do with it, because whatever Oscar would throw, even if it wouldn't land properly, the crowd went wild. Like even, even if it wasn't necessarily any a punch of significance, I think he landed like some really good straight. No, some really good looping rights and overhand rights. He caught Conceicao with a couple of those, and I was like, "Ooh, nice." He also landed some really good to the body of Conceicao, but nothing that was like, oh my god, like this is fucking awesome. I would just, hello Cowboys Nation, Mary J. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm not in Imperial Valley. What the hell y'all talking about? The zone, not it. This zone are the worst commentators, in my opinion. This zone has the worst commentators. The worst. I've turned on the Spanish one because the zone, that combination's fucking horrible. Chris over here saying it wasn't a robbery. You thought the fight was tomorrow, Alberton? I think tomorrow we have like some stuff on in in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of people thought it was tomorrow. Like, oh, my bad. I'm really fucking behind in the comments. I'm sorry. I think it's kind of embarrassing that this got busted and still lost. No mames. Yes, he failed both the A and the B samples, and then he popped negative like 2 weeks later. And people are like, oh, well, he popped negative now. And it's like, yes, 2 weeks later for a substance that only stays in your system for about 48 to 72 hours. So what's your point? You know? Robbery or not, this whole thing smells fishier than a girl's lock. Yeah, that 117 one. See, the fight going to Oscar Valdez, I'm not surprised. And, I can say that even though I did have Conceicao winning, I did think that him showboating that much and taking those last rounds off, because he took the last round off. As soon as he came out of the last round, he had his hands up like, hey, I won, this is it. And, even before he kind of like faded a little bit going into the second half. So I do see that, I I'm not even surprised. But also, I do feel like that 117, 110 scorecard was fucking way off, my dude. Way off. And it might just be because they do want to see that Shakur Stevenson and Herring winner face Valdez. And I think that's what it is. And, he's going to just be on there, Pube? Like pubes? Oh, instead of a hair fall. Oh my god. I didn't see any reports of that. I've been following the ESPN stories this whole time. I'm gonna have to look into that because I have not seen that at all. People are saying robbery once again. Thank you. Canelo pop, Valdez pop, Ryan Garcia's backing out of fights. Ruiz better when his last fight is not looking good. Well, I don't want to like blame the other fighters in the camp, but I do agree that it's a little sus, right? Because Canelo, Valdez, Julio Cesar Martinez pop positive when he was training in the Canelo camp. It's kind of like fuck. A lot of people do say Luis Neri, but Luis Neri popped before he was with the Reynosos. Luis Neri popped before he went to the Reynosos. He popped first and then went with the Reynosos. Luis Neri only had one fight with the Reynosos, if I'm not mistaken, and it was his first fight in the new weight class. I don't think he was with Reynoso that long. He popped before that. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to put Neri in that category, but I know some people do, and I'm not gonna put. I do put Julio Martinez in there though. I do, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, look at now, Ruiz losing weight so fast, right?" So now because they got caught with like things that help you lose weight, now they're saying that that's the same thing that Ruiz was taking. Now they're saying that because Ryan took, a mental health break off. Now they're saying, oh, he must be cycling off of some shit. So I don't blame people for feeling that way, but I'm just gonna reserve myself from kind of blaming everybody else just because Valdez popped positive. But I do feel like at this point, we do deserve, a comment from Reynoso. We do. We do deserve, people from Reynoso to, Reynoso to come up with a statement and see what the fuck is going on. Like, why is there two guys, you can say three, coming out of your camp with banned substances? Like, what the fuck is going on? It's two, possibly three dudes. You know what I mean? Hi, Brandon. Thank you. Love you. Ricky says, but Chet's first instinct is to fight and move forward towards his opponent. Robson's instincts to get out of range, not to use fight as proof. Yeah, I think styles definitely make fights, and I think Berchel's style was definitely more in favor of Valdez because Valdez is a come forward guy, so is Berchel, and it was more of a like Mexican versus Mexican type of thing when as opposed to if he faces, let's say, Shakur Stevenson. There's a reason why when Shakur Stevenson, when the fight with Berchel fell off and Shakur Stevenson was like, I'll fight you right now. Like, within 14 days, I'll fight you. Because remember, they're supposed to fight first and then Berchel got COVID. So they had to, like, book the fight later on. What's his name? Stevenson was straight up like, I'll fight you. I'll step in for Berchel. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll fight you in 14 days. Like, I've been in the gym. I'll fight you. Valdez wanted none of it. Valdez, it's been a couple times. He hasn't really mentioned Shakur's name. He did tonight, which is good. He mentioned the winner, of Berchet, of Herring versus Stevenson. But, it's different styles. And I think that Valdez, those styles are going to be the ones that become more difficult with him. Like the ones that are more elusive, right? With Berchel was just more like power. He was big, and we were like, "Holy fuck, this guy's gonna decapitate Valdez." And that didn't. And we were wrong. We were definitely wrong. Yeah, I already talked about that point deduction. That point deduction was ass, especially when they gave Valdez 3 warnings for the same thing. And the zone commentators are ass. I don't get how anybody loves the commentators. Brandon Figueroa was supposed to fight tomorrow on the 18th. Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton was supposed to be next week on the 18th, and he got COVID. And then Chocolatito also got COVID, so that third fight between him and Estrada's not going to be in October. Celtic says they Lopez Cambosos, lightweight champion, in my opinion. I think he does beat him, and obviously tonight they were talking about how they how he wants Josh Taylor next, which would be cool. It'd be cool if he like fights the main guy at 135 and then moves up to 140 and fights the main guy there too. I think it'd be pretty historical if he can pull it off, but it'd be a hard fight between him and Taylor. And I know we have Holyfield and stuff comments in there. We'll go about that. I just want to get through this card first, and then we'll talk about it, the shit going. Oh, tomorrow's the Holyfield card. You're right. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not watching that. Alex says my girl is a Cowboy fan, and she wants you to shut them out again. The Cowboys? I don't know shit about football, but didn't they lose? I don't know. Go Cowboys. I don't know shit about the Cowboys. I went to their training facility in Texas when I went to the fights over there. Was cool. I don't like any of the DAZN motherfuckers. They are so fucking weird. Like, there's no dynamics there. There's no like chemistry between them. They're just all saying random shit. I don't like it. I wonder if all these people had the same energy when dudes are being popped from Floyd's gym. I would love. I think I talked about this in the last live. I fucking hate whataboutisms. I hate them. I hate people like, oh, well, what about this guy? Like, fuck them both. If they pop positive, they pop positive. I keep the energy the fucking same, and most people should. And that's my point. That's my point. That people don't keep, and you're right, people don't keep the same energy. But I don't like when someone pops positive, and then someone's like, well, what about this guy? This guy popped positive too. Like, okay. And that doesn't mean that your guy that you're defending didn't also pop positive. Like, I don't get it. I do not like the whataboutisms. But what about this guy? Like, fuck that guy too. But also that already happened. So let's bring the attention back to the one that popped positive now. And also that's mostly like favoritism in general within race, and I fucking hate that. And favoritism between nationality, and I fucking hate that too. Like there's a lot of shit people are like, oh, I'm Mexican, so I'm gonna go with the Mexican guy. Valdez is Mexican, so I'm gonna like just defend everything he fucking does. Like, no. It's because I'm Mexican and I like Valdez so much that I'm going to be even more disappointed. Not be like, no, well, no, he. What about this guy? Like, what about this guy? Like, no, it's I don't like that. I personally do not like that. I did my bad. I if your children, my children are over here fucking playing Fortnite or whatever. Uh, Valdez all day. They should have deducted a point from Valdez. Yes, he got like three warnings. he would have. He got like three warnings, and like I mentioned, if they wouldn't have deducted that point from Conceicao, then it would have been a majority draw because two judges had it 115, 113. That would have made it 114, 114, and then it would have been a majority draw. Did not shout out the Cowboys. I don't know shit about football. Shakira classes Valdez. I think Leo Santa Cruz is a good close fight for Valdez. I wanted that Leo Santa Cruz fight when they were both at 126, and they should have done it, but the whole PVC top rank shit didn't let that happen. I would have loved for Santa Cruz versus Valdez. I would have loved that. I would have loved Valdez versus Frampton. I would have loved Valdez versus Warrington. All of those would have been so great, right? At 126, and now it's just like, oh, now he's up. So what do we do now? Right? I am drinking a hazy IPA. It's really good. Lily still thinks Lopez. I didn't. You still think that he beats Lopez beats Taylor? I don't know. Taylor had a really good fight with Ramirez. It was a close fight, regardless of him knocking down Ramirez twice. It was a cool fight. I think it depends. I would really like to see that fight and then watch tape later. If they were to announce it, I would love to do some more footage, research and watch tape and kind of come up with a better I guess analysis. 49ers, where are they from? Shout out to the 49ers, I guess. I don't know where they're from. I tried to. I was hoping Valdez would win, so he did win. So congrats. Oh my god. At least you got what you wanted, right? Alex says, I feel like people pop positive because most people do it and they get comfortable doing so. Yeah, there's always that aspect where people are like, well, everybody's on some shit, right? Like everybody's on some shit. And it's like, okay, but that you would think that people were like, oh, well, then I'm not gonna try to be in that. But maybe it's the pressure to, like, especially Valdez, like maybe it was the pressure to stay world champ, and a lot of people are like, well, maybe Conceicao, he's not even that big of a deal. Why take drugs for that type of opponent? And I think they forget that these two had history. Conceicao beat Valdez in the amateurs, and I think that maybe Valdez felt like, I gotta beat this guy now in the pros. I gotta make a statement and beat him in the pros, so I could take back that whole he beat me in the amateurs shit, right? That's why Berchel wanted to beat Valdez so bad, because he wasn't able to go to the Olympics because he was poor and he didn't have any funding. He didn't have any sponsors. Berchel couldn't go to the Olympics because he was poor. He didn't have that support. He didn't have that financial security to do that, right? It's not free. It's not free to be preparing for the Olympics and to go to the Olympics. So that's why, Berchel was like, I want to beat him, because if I beat him, I can feel like I went to the Olympics and I could have done well in the Olympics. And te quitas espinita, te quitas espinita of what could have been. And I feel like maybe Valdez felt that pressure to be like, I need to beat this guy because he beat me in the amateurs and I have to make this title defense and I need to remain champion. So maybe that's what he did, but it's not justified. Taylor beats Lopez. Lopez should rematch Loma, but I don't think he will. I think Lopez is very petty about the situation. If you remember, after that fight, he was going off on Top Rank because Top Rank didn't even give him a chance that he would win Lomachenko. He would beat Lomachenko, and they basically curated his next fight's pace based on him losing to Lomachenko, right? They expected him to lose to Lomachenko, so they basically curated his next couple of purses based on him losing. So he was pretty pissed off about that. And I don't think he's going to want to give Lomachenko that rematch, even though when Nakatani fought Lomachenko in the summer, um, Loma, no, Teofimo's dad was like, yes, we are gonna give him a second fight. I would like a second fight because I want to see maybe if Lomachenko is gonna fucking do something this time around the first 6 rounds. But I also don't feel like he deserves one because he didn't do shit the first half of the fight. Does that make sense? Would I want to see it? Yeah, I would want to see a rematch, especially if Lomachenko's gonna fucking do something. But because he didn't do shit in the first fight, in the first 6 rounds, then I kind of like, I kind of like, then he just doesn't really deserve it. You know what I mean? Thank you. Love you too. San Francisco. I'm a Dodgers fan, so anything from San Francisco can suck it. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm a Dodgers fan. San Francisco is not it. I'm sorry. Well, he made a statement for sure. No, Kingpin at 130. You don't think is a well? Who else has belts? It's Valdez. It's Herring. Shakur wants the other belt. Who else has belts at 130? Now I don't even remember. Who has belts at 130, y'all? Valdez has a WBC. WBO is with Herring, right? Who the fuck else has a belt? Who else has a belt, yeah? Now I'm confused. Who else has a belt at 30? Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot. I'm just saying, I don't like anything from San Francisco. I am a Dodgers fan. We hate San Francisco. I found you on Twitter, search her boxing. I'm glad I did. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Alex Grimes, I appreciate it. And your follow on Twitter too. I appreciate it. I'm very active on there, so might get on your nerves sooner than later, but I do appreciate you following me right now. Conceicao does not he doesn't have a belt. No, he didn't. Did he? No. Did he? I'm tripping. I thought Tank moved up though. Does he still have a belt? Oh, you said wanted tonight. I'm sorry. Roger Gutierrez, WBA champion. Let me look it up because now I'm tripping. USPN divisional rankings. I'm gonna try that. Oh my god, did it freeze? Okay, my computer's old, you guys. Switch. I'm trying to switch from the Mac computer to a. I'm trying to switch from a Mac to a PC, like my computer, because I have a MacBook Pro, but it doesn't even have a fucking USB port, and I hate that shit. So I need to get like one of those gaming computers that people have, not to game live, because this computer's old already. My MacBook is like from 2012. This one. So, so the IPF vacant at 130. Tank vacant. Yeah, Tank is like at 140. He went way up. He's not. I don't even think he's in the fucking. I don't even think he's in the conversation anymore. Am I freezing? Oh, because I opened the fucking tab. Yeah, I don't. Tank is not the conversation really. I want to anymore. Cardinals. See, I used to really dislike the Cardinals back in like 2012, 2014 when they keep beating the Dodgers in the fucking postseason. The Cardinals like ripped us up like 3 seasons in a row. I remember. Booted up. And then we got like taken out by the Mets. I was like, damn. Yes, Tank is 130, 105. Tony says he'll school anyone's boxing knowledge. Roger Gutierrez holds the WBA. I didn't even know that. I swear I didn't even know that. Let me see. 130. I didn't even fucking know that. That's crazy. Let me see. I'm looking at the. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. Boop, boop. Wait, no. That's 122. Let me see. So Oscar Valdez, Shakur Steve, Jamal Herring. I mean, yeah. Right? The fuck? He's not. Gutierrez is like ranked number 9. Oh, that's right. He beat Alvarado. It just. Oh my god. Yes, that's right. Now I remember. Ya me acordé. Ya me acordé. Oh, I think I'm not from Texas though. I live in LA. Hitters. Okay, so let's move on to the undercard. In the co-main event, we saw Gay Flores take his first pro career loss, right, against Lopez, which it was pretty fucking crazy because if you remember the press conference, Lopez told Flores, like, not just because you're the house fighter means you're going to win. And, se la cumplió. He dead ass, like, really freaking, like, held him up to that. He was in control since the beginning, the starting bell. He kind of came at Flores. Flores seemed like he didn't know how to respond. Flores never got into rhythm. He didn't seem how to respond. He didn't have a plan B. He didn't seem to know, no supo ni dónde chingados meterse de todos los vergazos que le estaba metiendo Lopez, honestly. And it was, for the first half of the fight, it was like, oh, like, Flores can still turn it around. He has a chance. But when you saw it past, especially the 7th round, you're like, holy shit, that's when the fight should have been stopped. When Flores started getting beat up like that in the 7th, his dad should have just immediately called the fight off. His dad should have been like, my son is young and he doesn't deserve to be taking this much punishment. And this is something that we really need to work in the camp. Like, let's go back and figure this out, right? But it pissed me off that he's like, oh, if you don't throw anything else, I'm going to stop it. And then he waits till like the last 30 seconds of the 10th round to want to stop the fight. And at that point, the ref's not even looking at the, he's like looking at the action. They're the opposite side of the ring, right? So the ref is not looking anywhere other than in the action. I think the ref should have stopped it, but I think it was more up to his dad to stop that fight. And I did not like that his dad was like, oh, he wasn't hurt. He was just tired. Like, my dude, like, your son was stunned. Like, your son was hurt. That uppercut that Lopez landed was really fucking crazy. Like, all this stuff was going on, and I don't get why he would come up and say that his son was not hurt when his son was clearly hurt. His son was clearly out of answers, right? He was getting punished way too much, and he didn't stop the fight. And when he tried to, it was way too late, right? I do appreciate Gabe for Flores Jr. for slugging it out. Even though his dad was waving the fight off, he slugged it out with um with Lopez, knowing that he was fucking hurt already. So I do appreciate him for that, but I did not appreciate his dad pulling that shit like, oh, he wasn't tired. He wasn't hurt. He was just tired. Like, that made me really pissed off. And it made me pissed off that also post that fight, Andre Ward was like, oh yeah, well, he could have told his dad that he doesn't want to be in there, and his dad would have stopped it. Like, no, it's, that's the point of having your team, to protect you from yourself. And also, Gabe Flores Jr. is not going to tell his dad, stop this fight. His dad, he wants to make his dad proud. So for Andre Ward to say that, for Andre Ward to be like, well, he could have told his dad to stop the fight. That really pissed me off too, because he's also in the team of Gabe Flores, and you would think that he would be looking out for him. I don't like that. I really did not like that from Ward. I thought that was a cheap shot. I felt like Gabe Flores was getting gaslit in there. Like, his dad's like, he wasn't hurt. He was tired. Like, we saw Gabe Jr. getting super emotional too. It was just a mess. Like, the kid is young and he doesn't deserve that. And I hope that they really take the time to maybe look at the tape, see where they were wrong, go back to the gym and try to fix those issues. Because if they keep saying, oh, he wasn't hurt, he was just tired, that's not going to help in any way. That's not going to help them in any way. That's just going to make them kind of just be like, well, we just will try to not get tired next time, or we'll do strength and conditioning next time, because they don't believe that he was hurt. When, in my opinion, and I think most of us agree, that he was fucking hurt. And yes, I think he just didn't want to take an L. He didn't want to, so I think that's what it is. And it sucks. Oh, like I made it for myself. I don't have any really. I I made it for myself and for my friends, but I didn't make any for like other people. I don't know. I didn't know people would want one. I'll see if I can have my friend make another one. My friend made them. I don't know how they like have those pressing machines. So I'll see, maybe they have some more. Who has a better Mexican food? Oh, I think it's Cali for sure. California has a better Mexican food, but Texas has good barbecue. I don't like barbecue from here. I used to always say I don't like barbecue. I don't fuck with barbecue. When I tried that shit in Texas, that shit was chef's kiss. It was so good. Hello, Kyle. Thank you for bringing people to the live. I appreciate y'all, and to the channel. And yes, I was gonna have a fight watching party for the Fulton fight, but that's not happening anymore because of Figueroa testing positive for COVID. Which brings me to my next point. I wonder if Canelo's vaccinated or not, because he was out there fucking raw dogging the crowd. Like, he had no mask. He had like nothing, right? Hi, Kyle. But he was out there like with no mask. He was just out there like raw dogging the virus. Like, he did not give a fuck. So I'm just like, damn, what is he doing? Like, he was the one saying that if Caleb Plant gets injured or gets the virus, he still wants to make the same type of money, against us, another opponent. And then he's out here not no. Stop it, please. He's out here just without a mask. I'm like, even if okay, maybe he's vaccinated, but even then, look at Oscar de la Hoya. He got vaccinated and he still landed in the hospital for 3 days because of COVID. I know some people don't believe he got COVID. I know some people feel like he just lied because he didn't want to go into his event when not that many tickets got sold. I'll see if I can make some. You guys would just have to tell me what sizes, like probably like large and stuff. I don't know. Large, extra large. I don't know. Arizona's different. They just for wearing a mask. Dude, I know. I went to Arizona last November, a year ago. And yeah, like we're the only ones wearing masks, and people were just looking at us like, what the fuck? Same when I went to Texas. I went to Texas in March, and we went out like bar hopping and shit in downtown, in Frisco. I think, no, not Frisco. What was it? Fort Worth. Fort Worth. We were at Fort Worth, and I was wearing a mask, and we were like not clubs, but bar hopping, and we were the only ones wearing masks, and everybody else is like, what the fuck? Like, everybody else were just like, not, they were not. They were just like, what are these people doing? Non-vax ruins his payday. Yeah, he wants payday. I know that. He better. He better. Cause, but they do the shit. I'm just like, what is he doing? Like, no one in that crowd was wearing a mask, or maybe I saw a couple, but no one that I saw from the cameras was masked. And I'm like, no, what the fuck are you doing? No, I don't. I don't discipline my kids with physical violence. If that makes any sense. If I wanted to, I'm just like, you can't play Fortnite today, and they get it, so they don't want that. They don't want that. I was there just last month, Scottsdale, and I came back. Damn, I would have been nervous. I was in Phoenix the last time I went. Yeah, I was in Phoenix. But we did go to Scottsdale because my ex friend had a baby. I think she had her baby there in Scottsdale, so that's where I was staying for a bit, and then I went to Phoenix. But yeah, like over there, they don't care, dude. They really don't care at all. They're just like, I mean, to each their own, but goddamn. Like, I think as fighters, we saw Teofimo out there too. Teofimo wasn't wearing a mask either after he already got COVID. And it's like, do you want to further delay your fight, dude? Because they've been rescheduling this shit like 3 times already. Like, why would you? But I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do. I think when you're an athlete, it's more of a like, don't you want your payday, or don't you want to like stay active? Maybe they don't. I don't know, but it's gotta be frustrating for the promoters. Well, the fans, obviously, but for the promoters, like especially for this Wilder Fury shit. Fury claimed he had been vaccinated, and it turns out that no, he hadn't. He lied. He lied that he had gotten vaccinated, and no, he hadn't. And he got COVID, and allegedly. And then now it's like, well, they already had a venue. Like, it's not like finding a venue and a date to match it. It's that fucking easy, right? It's not like, oh, it's okay. We can just like get the venue for the. There's so much shit going on in Las Vegas. There's fights. There's concerts. There's wrestling. There's raves. There's so many things going on in Vegas, right? So it's not like they could just be like, hey, hi, hello, like just actually cancel this date and just book us for this next date. Like, it doesn't work that way. So Teofimo tested positive literally a week before his fight. So they already had everything going in Miami, venue, music, entertainment, and the hotels already had like their people on there. And then it's just like, never mind. That has to be like fucked up with you know the promoters. And I feel like if I agree with Laura, you would think that with these yes, because it's especially when you see boxing as a business, right? You already have shit. Same with like, look at the Fulton and Figueroa fight. That was next week. That was next week, and now it's like, well, never mind. It's like for the promotion that has to hurt, right? And there's a lot of people that are like, well, you can't force people to blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. If the fighters don't want to be forced to do shit, fine. But then don't ask for fights. Don't ask for dates, because it's literally not 100% that it won't fall off. Look at all the fights that have fallen off because of COVID, right? Like, there's been fights that have been canceled because of COVID time and time again, weekend and weekend again. Maybe not the main event, but it's like, oh, actually, this fight's off. This fight in the undercard's off. Now this fight's off. Now they're moving it this way. So it's like, fine. You're not forced to do shit. Don't fine. Don't want to get vaxxed or don't want to wear a mask. But then you can't blame a promoter to be like trying to schedule shit for you, because there's always that chance that it might fall off because of COVID, especially when you're a big name like that. You're a big name, then to rearrange everything, to have fans get their money back, to have to find a new venue, to have to find a new date. All that shit takes time. Like, it's not like, it's okay, like, book this for this one. Actually, it takes time. So I feel like, it's, come on now, like, it should be. It sucks, it really sucks that this virus shit is still going on, and it's frustrating. But I can't believe people are so fucking divided on. I don't want to get into it because this is not a a medium for um that kind of conversation, right? But I don't get it, simply because I played sports growing up, and I played it through recreation centers, right? So I played it through a park. I'd go play baseball through like the recreational centers, or through school, right? Or through school programs. I'd play baseball, or I play softball. I played water polo, right? And I would play through these government things, right? Or through school. And every time we had to take a physical and be vaccinated. Going to college, when I enrolled in college, I had to show my vaccination card. Like, I don't get the outrage for like, oh, well, why are you forcing us? Like, I from as far as I remember, I've always had to show my vaccinations were up to date. I sent up my kids for sports, and it's been kind of similar. Like, we need a physical? Are they vaccinated? Right? Not only because of the vaccinations, but they need to know that they're okay to play and that they're not going to get injured and they're not going to be a fucking liability, I guess, or to see that they're good to play. You know what I mean? So I don't get this whole fucking thing, but that's just me, though. I don't know. And yes, he had only. I heard that too. I heard that he claimed he got both of them, but he only got one and never got the second one. But with that one, the reason why I don't believe it is because he was really close with Josh Taylor when Josh Taylor was training for his fight against Ramirez. And Josh Taylor is unapologetically anti-vax. Like, Josh Taylor's always talking about how he feels like he's in a Nazi concentration camp. And that shit pisses me off too. Shit pisses me off that like people compare just having to wear a mask and like having just like the option to get vaccinated to like shit as serious as like the Holocaust or slavery. They always say like, I feel like a slave, right? I feel like, bro, like that's kind of much. But that's why I feel like that one I don't trust too much, because they were really close friends, and I feel like, but I just need, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll see. I think I have like a black one. You know what's crazy? I. Oh wait, no. This one says boxing. This one just says boxing. But I do. I have a black one, but it has cat hairs, and it's small. I only have because they're for me. I'm small. But this one's black. I don't know. I'll ask my friend to make me more, and then I'll send them to you guys. I'll send them over to you guys. They take this. I would just feel like, okay, fine, don't do it, but then also don't expect to get fights made for you because you're gonna cost people money. Valdez on the it's tea, okay? Well, it's crazy because at first they said it was tea, and then they said, well, we don't know where it's coming from. So you would think they would know, but then they don't. So I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you guys. You know who? Oh, we saw Acosta lost today too. He got busted by Nakatani. Nakatani made his successful title defense, and Acosta got his nose busted. Like he was bleeding like crazy. And I understand a lot of people didn't like the stoppage. I did though, because he wasn't winning anyway. You know, like he's not like it was that competitive to where he could have turned it around. Nakatani was beating his ass. I'm getting back. See, and that's the thing. Like, we have to be responsible if we want to go out. You know, like I got vaccinated because my kids can't. You know, and I would have been going to more boxing event if it wasn't for COVID because I had COVID already. I had COVID in early January, and that shit kicked my ass. And I didn't even have the serious symptoms. Like I could still taste and smell, and I was out of breath, but it was never to the point where I couldn't breathe. You know, I still to and I think I'm sad too because to this day, like Wilder says, to this day, I can't breathe. Like sometimes I'll be walking up the stairs and I'm gasping for air like I'm some like huge bitch. Like I can't breathe. Little like just any change in like pace, I'm fucking gasping for air. Like my lungs don't feel the same. I'm always getting hit. I'm like a long hauler, I think. So I think it's just be responsible. You know, that's it. If you know you're gonna be out because you don't if you haven't had COVID, you don't want it. I promise you. I hated it. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody, and especially fighters, because now we see where a lot of fighters who got COVID got fucked up in their fights, right? Because and I get, I'm telling you, I felt like shit, and I'm not in shape. I'm just some regular random bitch. And I'm like, and I got it like, but I'm not unhealthy either. That makes sense, right? So I'm like, fuck, like I don't know how these athletes get COVID, how it affects their bodies, in the long run. So I would not want that for like an athlete. If I was an athlete, I wouldn't want that. And then it leaves open for a discussion of what would have happened if I hadn't gotten COVID. Would I have won this fight instead of losing? Now we're gonna see how it's gonna affect Figueroa against Fulton Jr. I was so excited for that fight. Fulton versus Figueroa. That would have been a great unification fight. I love unification fights. I love undisputed fights. They're my favorite. Rais Salim was gonna be in the undercard. Now I heard they're like scrapping the whole thing and just making it into like a minor event. And just this year has been really bad with boxing because of the pandemic, because of the virus. So many fights have fallen off. Other fights have just like not came to fruition at all. And damn, it's been a sad fucking year for boxing, right? We had the Wilder shit with Fury. We had Chocolatito now with, this. We had the Teofimo falling off. All this big, like these fights with big names are falling off, right? And now it's just like, fuck. I hope Canelo. I mean, the other stuff that's unrelated to it. It's just been a really bad year for boxing, in my opinion. Because look at Spence, right, with versus Manny. I was there in Vegas, but it wasn't the same. I'm, good for Ugas, but I only went because I'm like, well, I already got the fucking tickets, and fuck it, like I'm gonna go. And I already had like a hotel booked and everything, so I'm like, I guess I'll go, But damn, that sucked. That fight falling off. Canelo not fighting Caleb Plant in September. Like Canelo was supposed to fight next week. When you think about it, Canelo was supposed to fight next week, y'all. Should have been Canelo fight week next week. Yeah, here we are waiting till November, and with all this COVID shit, who knows? Like he's out here raw dogging the fucking virus, not wearing masks and shit in Arizona, which is like place where people don't get vaccinated, don't wear masks. Cause like, what are you doing? Just crazy. And it's just damn, it makes me scared for boxing in general. Like, man, you really don't know if a fight is happening until they're in the fucking ring, a bell about to go off. Because anytime they could just it could just fall off, you know. I think I already had the virus before. See, I think that's what happened with my mom. She had it. She was like she got like really sick in February of 2020, and like she went. You know, my mom would always go to TJ to get like medication, and that would always help. But this time it didn't, and she'd get the like injecciones right on her butt, like she thought it was the flu, and no, nothing. And I'm like, I think you had the virus, like at that point. Supposedly he is gonna fight Porter in Vegas in November, but I don't know. I really hope so. I really want this fight to happen. I want Crawford to fight a live dog. And what more of a live dog than Sean Porter? I would love that fight. Obviously, I would prefer Errol Spence, duh, but we're not getting that yet. And I don't think we're getting that after Errol Spence comes back. He's going to need a couple tune ups, right? So fuck, I just really hope this fight. I really hope he does fight Porter. I really want to know. You're picking out Usyk, dude. I love Usyk. If you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I love Alexander Usyk. I love him. He's amazing. But I don't want him. I never wanted him to go to heavyweight because he can get hurt there. You know, he can definitely get hurt at heavyweight. Y me da miedo. I love that man. Like he's gonna get got. I just hope that it's not too bad. I think he has more of a chance with Joshua than any other fighter though, because Joshua has been hurt before. You know, Joshua has been dropped by Klitschko. He's been hurt by Povetkin, right? Like he got hurt by Ruiz. So the guy's there to be hit, and his chin is it's not the strongest, right? So I feel like maybe Usyk can like if there's any heavyweight, top heavyweight at least, that Usyk can beat, it can be Joshua. I just don't think he will. I think Joshua eventually will catch him. I think the sets will be too much. Also, Usyk's performances at heavyweight have not been like tremendous. You know, I don't think he has an. I agree with Ricky. He doesn't have enough pop. So I think this is what's gonna be his downfall. In my ideal world, in the Lily world, I would love for Usyk to do to Joshua what he did to Tony Bellew. Tony, like Walter said, Tony Bellew. I would love that. I would love for that to happen. But realistically, Usyk's getting got. Realistically, Usyk is getting got. Honestly, it's just too much of a size difference. If an unvaccinated gets called for a fight, they need to be forced to forfeit the fight, and all tests are going to be. Ooh, that's a take. That's a take. I agree with you because that's your choice, you know, to like not get vaccinated. That's a take. I think I agree with this. I think I do. I think I do because yes, you can control getting COVID, and even if you're vaccinated, but I think even at this point, fighters should be very selective of who they let inside their gyms and their sparring, like very selective on their sparring. You know, like I'm only gonna spar the people who are also vaccinated or are not going anywhere or are not going from gym to gym sparring all types of people or going out in between weekends. You know, like you have to be really careful with this shit. And I know a lot of people are not gonna agree with that, but damn. Who do you all have winning Wilder versus Fury 3? I don't know. I think Fury won the first one. I think Fury won the first one. I don't think that was a draw. I think Fury won the first one. I only gave Wilder the rounds he didn't drop Fury in. I mean the rounds that he dropped Fury in. Those are the ones I gave Wilder. And obviously he lost the second one. So I think Fury just gives him a triple dose. Can you please stop? Thank you. I don't think he I don't think anything goes differently, but at the same time, Fury has that. Fury has that. Fury has that. I mean, Wilder always has that equalizer, right? Wilder has power, and he's always gonna have that power. So, you know, I think he has a chance because of power. But I don't know. What do you want to bet, Celtic? What do you want to bet? Are you betting for what? For Fury or Wilder? Or are you betting for Wilder? Let me know what you want to bet. If anybody wants to bet, I'm here to bet. This guy was trying to bet me $500 on Caleb Plant. He was saying that Caleb Plant's gonna be Canelo, and he wanted to bet $500. I'm like, better be 1,000. I'm trying to win a whole band. I'm trying to take. I'm trying to take your money. If you want to go for Plant, I'm trying to take advantage of that and take your money. Hello, Dan. Don't found it. Oh, sick. Hello, welcome. How are you? Uh, oh, gracias, gracias, muchas gracias. Ahorita estoy trabajando en muchas otras cosas que no son el boxeo, así que no estoy tanto con entrevistas. Iba a entrevistar a Ray Salim, pero se le cayó la pelea por el COVID de Figueroa. So estoy esperando, you know. As you guys know, I'm going to be going live every Tuesday because Mondays are like football. So I'm gonna go live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And right now I'm also working for a Latino magazine, so I'm working a lot with them and doing articles for them. But I am gonna still try to get boxing interviews, and hopefully, I can get one soon, so I can give a little bit more content on here with actual interviews. Oh, you put money on Wilder. Woo! Hola, Christopher. How are you? Fury got the mental. Yeah, I think he just all the trash talk. Let's make anybody want to make. We should bet. We should bet. Goddamn Plant is going to get smoked back. Did you guys see how he was talking about, when Oscar Papasade was saying about like all these foods with modelos and stuff? I'm like, I feel personally attacked as someone who loves modelos. He was like, Caleb Plant's like, oh, you're telling me Canelo's gonna go to a random taco stand in the street? I'm like, damn, that's like fucking Mexican culture right there. Like, we literally do go to random taco stands in the street. Like, that's our fucking culture. Like, this is what we do. Wilder said that the Gypsy King put a spell on him. What didn't Wilder say? Wilder said it all. He said his suit, he said his water, he said his trainer, he said he had sex before the fight and that weakened his legs. He said it all. He said they put like horse tranquilizers. I don't know what he's gonna fucking say. Plan no, I've got Canelo. Okay, so then Fury, you're going with Wilder. I want all the smoke till this day. Let me see. I think I still have the audio. Hold on. I think I do. I think I have the audio to this day. Let me see. I think I do. I think I have the audio. To this day. To this day. To this day. Yes, to this day. To this day. I have that. I love that. I love that to this day audio. To this day. I need to put more audios. To this day. To this day. I need to put more audios on my Roadcaster. I used to use it more when I used to do the podcast because I would just press a button and it would come up. But I need to add more. I want to add the one where Harrison told Charlo, shut up. Like when someone says something stupid, I want to use that sound when Harrington's like, oh my gosh, shut up. Shut up. And then when Charlo's like, look at him, pitiful. Like I need to fucking use these. Wilder by Kate. Oh, what round? What round? I love this sound too. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. When people ask me some shit or they ask me some dumb shit, I always use this sound. Ain't nobody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. Don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. Wilder has like just so many freaking funny ass things. Hella hard. Dude, what happened to Hurd? Hurd really disappeared. Hurd fell off bad, and especially his last performance. I hope he retires because he's not it anymore. And to this day. But yes, tomorrow. So tomorrow it's the Holyfield versus that MMA guy. And then we have Andy Vences, I believe, versus Jonna Carroll. I want to know if you guys are going to watch that, if you guys are going to buy it. Maybe you're not going to buy it, but you're going to watch it in other methods of streaming. So let me know, if you guys are going to watch that, if you guys are going to buy it or whatever. Search Spence hard plan on YouTube. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna. Thanks for the tip. I'm definitely gonna do that. I love that that video too from Spence when he's like, Adango just got knocked out by Regis Progrerius. Later day he did Terrence Crawford. So name somebody else. That's probably one of my favorite fucking videos where he calls Regis Progrerius. I love that video. I love that video when he's like, when I was born in 1990, 2015, I was 15 years old. Like that dude was fucked up when he was saying all that shit. He's like, I lost to him. He's like, he beat me in 2007. He's like, I was 15. He's like, he beat me in 2007. 2015, I was 15 years old or something like that. And then I think this is the clip that I'm talking about. Hold on. This is the clip I'm talking about with the Charlo.
Man, shut up. Please, dog. Please. Like, he
I'm going to use that audio every time someone on here says something stupid. I'm going to just go.
Man, shut up. Please, dog. Please. Like, he.
The way that Charlo's looking at him, too, like, man, Charlos are some fucking, like, scary motherfuckers. Like, they are so fucking scary. And then I have this one.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Anything Broner says is also funny. And then I have this one.
Because he gay. I feel you know,
Because he gay.
because he gay. I feel you know,
In that interview, he was talking about Dillian White. They were asking him, like, why Dillian White is always, like, trying to press Deontay, try to talk about Deontay. And that's what he said.
because he gay. I feel you know,
Oh, my God. And then who can forget this one?
Suck my motherfucking dick.
I need to add more. But that's basically the gist of it so far. I'm going to answer a couple of more, and then we're going to go because we've already been here an hour. Never been a Hurt fan. I liked Hurt. He looked like that one football player with his little frosted tips. Fury's going to destroy Wilder. I never said otherwise. I said, you know, I think Wilder still has a chance because he has, like, punch power. Spencer truly piss excellence down here in Texas. I do fuck with Texas fighters though. You guys got a lot of talent down there. Let's see. Thanks God you're still alive. Aw, hello. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Keep going, bro. That's what he looks like he's telling him. I've been here like for an hour. But I do want to. I did ask y'all. Are you guys going to see the fight tomorrow? Are you guys going to buy that Holyfield Triller thing? I'm not. I'm not trying to do that. I'm gonna go to a friend's little get together. It was sad watching. Yeah, it was, especially because he's so young. You know, like Flores is young, and his dad should have stopped that shit. Oh my god, my hair all fucked up. His dad should have stopped that. His dad. There's no reason why he should have kept his son getting punished like that. His son should have. They should have stopped that fight like on the 7th round. I don't think that fight should have been going that far. Especially Gabe Flores. He's young. He's like 20, right? He's 20 or something like that. Like I don't agree with that. I don't think he should have gone that far. His dad tried to stop that fight like literally in the last round. Like what the fuck's the point now? I don't get it. I'm not watching it either, and I don't think I'm missing out on much. See, like the Jake Paul and shit like that, I still watch it just for entertainment purposes. I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll watch it. There's nothing else on. But with this, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, Holyfield is old. He's 60. He's an old guy. Like, why are you putting him in there? Why are they sanctioning this? Like, this is not a good look for boxing. And lately I've been thinking about that, about how we're boxing fans, right? So we're used to the buffoonery. But when I think about like other sports fans looking in, right? Like other sports fans looking into the sport, are they like, holy fuck, what the fuck's going on over there? Like our boxing fans, I mean our other fans, please stop. Our other fans of other sports, like, what the fuck? They got fucking Donald Trump commentating fights now, and then now 50 Cent is gonna be out here commentating. Like, I wonder what goes in the minds of people looking in. Like now they got Jake Paul over there. They got all these, and they have robberies, and then they got guys who pop positive for banned substances still fighting. Like they don't give a fuck over there. Like I do wonder if like fans of other sports see boxing like, oh, what the fuck? Like what is happening over there? Double the one says not really. It doesn't caught my attention. Yeah, I think Tyson versus Roy Jones. Like you knew that the rules were like they couldn't knock each other out basically, and I saw that Mike Tyson was definitely taking it easy on Roy Jones. Like you could tell he was taking it easy, and they're both like in similar stages of their post career. Like they're done. They're just. It was like definite. That was an exhibition. This is a fight. Like this is a fight. It's not an exhibition. So I don't like that. I don't get it. Chivo says, who wins Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury? Did y'all hear my kids screaming on Fortnite? Who wins Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury? Tommy Fury, he looked like ass. I don't care. He looked like shit. So did Jake Paul, though. Jake Paul, I don't know. Until Jake Paul beats like an actual boxer, like whatever. But he's not going to do that because Jake Paul is just trying to make money in boxing. And after his last fight where he got tagged by that MMA guy, who's an actual combat sport, athlete, he's an actual fighter, may not be boxing, but he's done combat sports. So seeing himself get caught like that, I don't think he's going to want to actually step up in there with an actual boxing guy. He's an actual boxer. I don't think he's gonna do that. He's not stupid, right? I think, and it doesn't make him any money. Like we can sit here and yell, oh, "Fight an actual boxer, you fucking weirdo," or something like you poser. But unless it's like a big fucking name, it's not gonna get any money. I don't think him versus Tommy Fury would make that much money. So he's gonna keep fighting other MMA fighters or celebrities or other athletes coming into boxing. I don't think he's gonna risk getting got against someone like Tommy Fury. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that they're gonna do a rematch. I think Jake Paul is just more of like fuck that. But also Woodley didn't step on the gas pedal. I feel like he had Jake Paul hurt. Was it the fourth round, right? And he didn't do shit after that. Like he didn't press him or nothing. Like why are you not gonna press him? The Stevenson fight. I saw the press conference yesterday. That was pretty cool. I do feel like Shakur Stevenson has the advantage over Herring because of styles, but Herring always pulls something out of his ass. Like he's a guy that looks basic from the outside looking in, but then he gets in the ring and he makes these guys struggle, right? He makes this guy struggle. So I don't think I don't know who wins. I don't know who wins. Who do you think wins? I think that's a good fight. I'm excited for the Stevenson versus Shakur fight. I would go out to Atlanta and try to see that, but it's too close to Halloween, and I've been like trying not to travel because of the COVID stuff. So I don't know. No, I disagree. I think us, like in the boxing community, we would see it. But other people, I don't think they would because they're like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Especially Tommy Fury. Who the fuck is that? He has like 5 fights. But that's just me, though. I don't know. That's gonna. I want to know what's gonna happen. You want me to get my ass beat? The one? Why would you wish that upon me? Why would you wish that upon me? I have not done anything to you. What do you want to get? I would go in there for the right price, though. Beat me up. I don't care. Pay me like 100,000, and that way I could put a down payment on a house. Like, give me 100,000, down payment on a house. Fuck me up. I don't care. Fuck me up. Just like Sanisa did that one lady. Remember that 7-second knockout Sanisa Estrada had with that like random soccer mom. Dude, I'm down for that, but she only got paid like 10 grand. Bro, I'm not gonna get knocked out for no fucking 10 grand. No. You gotta pay me at least 100 to like get me to fucking get all fucked up in there. Did you talk about planning him talking about it? His views of for guys getting views on the. Oh, I did not see that. But yeah, see, I don't like when people like Caleb Plant who fought for free on Fox talk about views because y'all are getting free television and you're getting like you're on free TV on prime time. You got a slot on prime time TV. So yes, he got like 1 million views or whatever, right? Something like that in his last fight. But that fight was fucking boring. Like his last fight with Caleb Truax, like he couldn't even hurt Truax. Truax is like 40. I didn't do shit, and he got caught with a good like couple good punches from Truax too. So it's like I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't fucking get that. Like why brag about that? You're on free TV. You're not on fucking an app and you're not on pay-per-view. So I don't get it. Shakur, yes. Shakur, see, a lot of people say, oh, he's boring and shit. Maybe he's boring, but what he does to his opponents, he limits how many punches they can land on him. Guys who usually do land punches on other people, they don't land them on Shakur Stevenson. But she still got hands. That's still body memory. I don't got that. My knees hurt all the time. I have carpal tunnel syndrome from like my job and I type a lot. My hands are always like this at my desk, so I have like T-Rex arms. And when I lie down, like my ligaments, like all this shit hurt so fucking bad every single night because I'm like a fucking T-Rex all fucking day on my computer typing and shit. So my hands are fucked up. My knees are fucked up. Why do you want me to get got like that? Canova this plan gonna be crazy too. I can't wait for the press conferences. That's just gonna be lit. Those press conferences are going to be lit. Can we get Jake Paul? Dude, Lemieux would be cool because Lemieux got power. That'd be cool. I think Lemieux would fuck up Jake Paul. I would love to see it. Just like how he fucked up that Irish dude. What's his name? Oh, the mustache. What's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about, right? He fucked him up in the Canal versus Triple G undercard. What was his name? Oh, something. That guy with the mustache. He fucked him up in like one round. I would do that. I would do. And I think I would win. That's just me, though. Nothing against her, but I think I could beat her. She's too skinny. I don't even think we'd be in the same weight class. I'm fat. She's tiny. Xicana Boxing versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. He wouldn't knock me out, but he would fuck me up. Yes, Sullivan. Oh, Sullivan, yes. All jokes aside, Nello always struggled with defense. See, I don't think that narrative still applies. Uh-oh. What's happening? I don't think that narrative still applies. I think he got rid of that narrative with ¿cómo se llama? Jacobs, with Billy Joe, right? They're more defensive. They're more elusive. I don't think someone said, oh, do you want to bet? I would love to bet with you. We should bet. With Caleb Plant, and I keep saying this every fucking live. Somebody on this live one time said that Caleb Plant has the style to beat Canelo Alvarez, but he doesn't have the skills to beat Canelo Alvarez. Like, so he has a style that would give Canelo problems, but there's not one thing that you look at Caleb Plant and you see and you're like, damn, he does that so well. There's not one thing he does that you're like, damn, he just does this so well. Like, he's so good at this thing, right? He just does a lot of things nicely. He's a good boxer. He's a good fighter. But who has he fought? His toughest name was Uzcategui, and that's who he beat for the title. And even in that fight, he was getting got, right? And who else? Like, his resume is ass. Like, I don't think he has it in him. I don't think he has the power or the pop to keep Canelo off of him. I think his best bet is just jabbing Canelo to maintain his distance and just try to just, but I don't think he wins. But we could bet. I would love to bet. Is Ward helping Plant? He's not helping him. He just went over there to talk to him. And even if he is, no, it's not going to make a difference. I don't think it's going to make it. And yes, Gary Spike O'Sullivan, right? Yes. Yeah, Troy. Y'all need to follow Troy. Troy, he always comes in clutch. Y'all need to follow him on this YouTube. Canelo just fucks up everyone now. Yeah, his jab, but it's not like, wow, that jab is so amazing. I think what it is just he's gonna have that reach advantage, and he can use that jab, try keep Canelo off of him and maintain his distance. But being a counterpuncher can also he's gonna struggle, right? Because I don't think that Caleb Plant's gonna be bringing it to him. So as a counterpuncher, you need someone to be coming at you so you can counter. But I think it's only gonna be for a couple rounds. I think it's only gonna be for a couple rounds, and Canelo's gonna do it. All right, we if Canelo wins, okay. Virtual shake. I just can't wait for that press conference. So they're gonna be talking shit to each other. People love to hate Cinnamon. They do, but hey, it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. He's gonna get hated on. He's gonna get hated on for sure. Is Billy Joe Saunders a dude better than Canelo? Yeah, like Billy Joe Saunders. I think I gave Billy Joe Saunders more of a chance to beat Canelo than I would give Plant to beat Canelo, if that makes any sense. Like if there was a guy at 168 who could beat Canelo, or not beat him, but at least give him a little bit more problems, was Billy Joe. And I think I'd give Billy Joe like 2 rounds tops, 3 rounds if I'm being really fucking generous, which I don't want to be generous. My favorite Mexican boxer ever has to be that's a hard one. I think the Eric El Terrible is probably gonna be my favorite one just because of the Pacquiao. I know he got by Pacquiao in the second one, but he was the first Mexican to beat Pacquiao, right? And I always loved him. I loved his style. The trilogy between him and Barrera was my childhood like memory. Like I was a child when that happened, and I grew up. That's how I fell in love with boxing, because I watched these two dudes have a trilogy, and it was I fucked with it so hard. So I think I'm going to go with El Terrible Morales. I also really like Juan Manuel Marquez. I think he was underrated because he was going up against all these other guys who also in Mexico who were doing so much better than him. That he didn't really got the recognition like that until he beat Pacquiao, the way that he beat him, right? And then obviously Salvador Sanchez, man. Salvador Sanchez, when you look at him and you see how young he was, and he was the level of competition he was fighting at that age, and how he was just fucking disposing of them, that was special. That was special, and it sucks that he had to lose his life through a tragedy that was just like as random as a car accident. So I think those are like my top 3. And everybody's like, oh, what about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.? Yes, I like him too. But he fought a lot of randoms. Like a lot of people don't like talk about that. A lot of people don't like talk about the fact that he fought a bunch of taxi cab drivers. Like he fought a lot of randoms, Chavez Sr. But his wins, like his best wins, are obviously against really good opponents. So yes, like I like him too. But if you had asked me, I would like the other ones on top of that. Also because I wasn't really I think it's just because my attachment to those fighters, because I'm not saying that they're better than Chavez Sr. or they're better, they have a better legacy than him. I just grew up with them, so that's why I picked them. You know what I mean? And this is why I believe he will win. Canelo struggled with Billy Joe. No, he didn't. When did he struggle? He won like almost every round except like 2. He never struggled. But whatever. I'm glad I'll take your money. I'm down. I'm down. Let me see. Plan is a natural 168. Oh my jeebus, you look crazy. Tank versus Rolly, so we can finally get rid of Rolly. I don't think that fight ends well for Rolly, man. I think he gets carried on the stretcher. I don't think that's a good fight. I don't think that's a good fight for him. We should all bet on whoever's close. Oh my god, dude, I like this. How about we all like put money towards like some account or whatever. I'm not gonna jack your money, guys. But what if we all do like, okay, we all send like a certain amount of money and we all bet. Or we could do that thing that they do at Mexican parties where we each get a number. We could do like a random number generator from 1 to 12 on like you've seen those things, right? Where online it spins the wheel and you get like a number from 1 to 12, and then like whoever wins that round. Does that make sense? Have you guys ever done that? When we would watch boxing in my family growing up, that was a game that we would play. We'd all put in $30, $20, $30 to $50. We'd put in, whatever the amount was, and we put 1 through 12 on in little papers. We fold them up and we put them in the hat, and like obviously shuffle them around. and then we would go around and we all pick a number out of the hat, and some people would get first round, some people would get 1 through 12, right? And then whoever won in the round that they would win the money, right? So if a fight went the distance, whoever got 12 would get the money. If it was a knockout in round 7, the person who got the 7 would get the number. We should do that. I think that would be cool if we all just send, like, you know what I mean? And then the person that we do it on the live and everything, and whoever wins, you guys can see me go on screen and like send the money to the person who won. I think that'd be a cool ass freaking thing to do. You can follow me on Twitter, and then for the Canelo fight, we could do that. Like we need 12 people, or if it's more than 12, we could do 2. You know what I mean? 2 numbers of each, and then that way, like you get two people. Everybody gets a chance, but then you split the money in half and half and half. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain it, but that's a good idea. We should do that. And I think Triple G beat Canelo on the first time. Yes, he did. I do agree with that. Billy Joe left with a broken face. Imagine plant. And Billy Joe was talking shit. Billy Joe was talking so much shit to Canelo. So now I imagine what Canelo's gonna do to Caleb Plant after he was talking shit about him. I think Dave Benavidez beat Saunders and Plant. I agree. I think Billy Joe said he's not gonna fight again unless he fights Lee. What's his name? Yeah, right. And it's like, why do you care about someone you already beat? You won that fight, bro. Why are you trying to fight him again? I like Juan Manuel Marquez. I think he was underrated. He was going up with Morales, Barrera, and all these other guys. So I feel like that's why he didn't get the sign he deserved. And yes, I love Salvador Sanchez. He was just the best. And yes, I think when I saw Steve from Bruce Clues like come over here and apologize for abandoning me, I'm like, damn, this dude apologized way before my dad ever did. Like, my dad never apologized to me for abandoning me. Like, he really brought up a lot of abandonment issues, if you know what I mean. Chavez, I mean, they're not wrong, but I just feel like it's just they're not wrong. He had great names on his record, and he went undefeated for so long, right? You're allowed to have that, but I think with me, like I mentioned, it's more of I grew up around that time. I didn't grow up in the Chavez time, so I don't know. I don't have any attachment to that. Well, Teofimo, he's fighting Cambosos on like a Monday in October. Monday 5th, I think, in New York. But he's fighting on a Monday. So, hey, right? Monday, right? I think he's fighting that day because it's already going to be postseason, and if New York's in the finals, like in baseball postseason, it's gonna conflict with a game, and they don't want that. So I think that's what they picked that date. Salvador Sanchez went 4-0, 4 kills against 3. Yes, Pancho Villa. Thank you for that. That's why I always bring him up. I know he died young, and a lot of people don't remember, like, don't really put him in that conversation that much because he died young, and he was never a finished product even. But just that alone, like, and he was young. He was so fucking young to be doing all that, right? He never ducked nobody. He was over here doing the damn thing like how everyone should do it. And damn, he should get all the recognition. And okay, we should do that. You guys. Oh, I thought you said you got planned in the 10th. I think it's gonna be a late round knockout too. I think he folds him like a chair to the body. You heard it here first. I think he folds him like Cinnamon Plant gonna go to. You never know, Caleb Plant's never been stopped, and you never know. He might be too big for Canelo. I don't know. But we should do that. We should do the numbers. We all, like 12 people, we all send $20, and then whoever gets the winning, number gets the $20. I think we should do that. That'd be cool. I'm gonna go with Canelo with the UD because I never seen Plant wobble drop. Yeah, see, I just said that, and I'm glad you brought it up too. He's never been wobbled, hurt, or nothing. So I think so too. I think it's gonna go the distance, right? But we'll see. I don't know. I thought that the Billy Joe Saunders fight was gonna go the distance too, and Canelo was fucking him up the later round. So I'm actually, after I get off of this, I'm gonna go shower because I am sweaty as hell. I don't know if you guys can tell. I am sweaty as hell because I have like this LED light in front of me. And it was hot as fuck today. It's hot as fuck. I look weird as fuck without glasses. Oh my god. Um, and I'm gonna go shower and I'm gonna probably watch some boxing right now. I always watch boxing at night. I think Kyle gonna duck plant arm up like oh yeah, he had him yeah, I think he's gonna try to I think the arm and the body. I think that's a really good observation, Jose. That's a really good observation. You know, he does have the reach advantage and he does have that jab. So I think Canelo's definitely gonna aim for that jab hand, you know, like that for his arms to kind of slow those jabs down. I agree, I agree, I agree. Any never flight, anyone who can hurt. Any never flight. Okay, you're gonna have to write that again. Any never flight, anyone who can. You gotta write that again because I don't know what I don't know what you're saying. And thank you, I appreciate that because I'm sweaty as fuck. It's sweaty as hell today. But I appreciate you guys. Also, I'm going to be live on Tuesday. Tuesday is gonna be more of a recap of what happened this week. We already talked about it, but it's gonna be like in a format where I'm gonna talk about the fights with like images showing like, oh, this guy beat this guy, this and this, and then this guy beat this guy, and this and this, and then whatever happens on Monday and Tuesday, because you guys know there's always some sort of boxing news going on. So whatever happens, I'm gonna list that too, and then I'm gonna go to the comments so we can talk about it, and then we could talk about whatever's gonna happen, next week, and that's how it's gonna be until football season ends. Once football season ends, I'm gonna go back to doing lives on Monday. But for now, because of football season, we're doing Tuesdays. Tuesdays. No, I don't want to watch that. It's none of my business. I'm not trying to watch that. I don't agree with it. I don't, and I mentioned this earlier where, sometimes you watch it just because like, yeah, it's on and it's combat sports or whatever. I'm just gonna watch it. But there's other things I can do that on Saturday that don't include watching a 60-year-old man get punched at. And I think I'm gonna take that route instead. But definitely follow me on Twitter and keep me updated on that. I would love to, you guys to tell me like, hey, this happened, and follow me. And if I don't follow you back, message me and say, hey, like, it's me from the chat. Oh, follow back. Sometimes I don't follow people back because a lot of people just be lurking my shit. So just tell me, hey, it's me from the chat, and I'll be like, oh, hey, okay, boop. Yes, Tuesday, because I know you guys like football, and I don't watch football, but I respect y'all for watching football. And I'm not trying to like have you guys like not pay attention to your game because I'm over here talking to shit. I tried to tune in. Honestly, I didn't want to watch this fight because I didn't want to support it. You know what? Same with me. When that shit happened, I'm like, I'm not watching this shit. Well, there's nothing else on a Friday, and I still wanted to see the undercard. I was trying to see the undercard too, so I'm like, oh, let me see it. Dude, at this point, I feel like si me lo chingo, Pancho Villa con sus dos viejas a la orilla. I would not do that though. I would not feel okay doing that. I would not feel okay doing that. I really wouldn't feel okay beating a fucking old man. But okay, guys, we've been here for an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate you guys. I was gonna have a freaking live for next week's fights, like a watching party to where like we sit down and we watch the fights together. Peace out, the one. Thank you for following me and for coming onto the chat. I really appreciate you, and then I enjoy your input. You have a good night. And yeah, everybody have a good night. I don't know when I'm gonna go live on Tuesday, and I guess from there we'll figure it out. But we're for sure having a fight watching party for Canelo versus Plant. We're definitely doing that. Like that, we have to do. So yeah, we'll talk about it as the time comes near. Same with the Fury fight, Wilder Fury. We'll definitely do this, okay? Thank you guys so much for being here and talking boxing with me. With the quarantine going on, I don't really have a lot of people to talk to. So I do appreciate you guys coming on here and talking boxing with me. You guys have a good night. And this is my social media. So you guys, it's just Twitter. I do have Instagram, but I post like random shit. So it's nothing boxing related. You guys have a good night. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday.